You know the thing.
All right.
I was going to
recording. Everybody hear each other?
Board game. It was like $70 or $75.
So.
Yes,
You play against the board. So you gotta like collect like weapons every round to try and fight the monster, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it was ridiculous.
Do the rounds take like hours? Or the game does it take like hour and a half?
I feel like we played that for like 2 hours before we were done or something like that.
It was their first time playing.
So it took
Regularly, it should be only about 40 to 1 hour. 40 minutes to 1 hour.
and it took 2.
It was like the third act of Infinity War by the time we were done.
It got to the point too, like having a good
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think Chris. So like at the end, right? If you get in the helicopter, you pick that one person to pick who goes on the helicopter, and if everyone goes on the helicopter is not infected, then you win.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like the whole time Chris was doing good, so I picked Chris to pick like the who goes on board, and luckily I had a flamethrower to burn one of the guys before they hop on, and I was like, I'm gonna burn him.
Yeah, luckily you picked right the first time, and then the second time you picked me, and that was wrong. But
Oh,
luckily you
yeah.
didn't have a second charge on that,
Yeah, I did have second charge on the flamethrower.
so we did win. I did
It's a fun game.
This game sounds complicated.
It was a lot of rules.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions before we start?
So let's run down. We got news. So what do we got as far as news? Headlines.
As far as news, we had Top Gun delayed for a year.
It's a real
Alec
movie.
Baldwin's out for the Joker already after only being in for like a week. Just a quick DC Daily recap. I don't know if y'all saw that, but the DC Daily with Kevin Smith, they came out and they did a basically extended commercial for their service that's coming out, their DC universe.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to hear about it.
And then Matt Smith got announced for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So
It's Matt Smith
Matt Smith and
and
somebody else.
Dominic.
Dominic Monaghan
Yeah, from
from
Lost.
The Lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Pippin.
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
Oh shit!
Yeah. When did that get announced? Like just a day or two ago?
Yeah, something like
This
that.
week.
Okay.
And it's Mary.
It all
dude.
got down this week.
Is it?
It's not.
Yeah, it's Mary, right?
No, it's
Really?
Pippin. I just saw him in a
Fact check.
YouTube video. That's why I know who it is.
I didn't watch Lost.
Yeah, we literally were just
You didn't watch
talking
Lost?
about
Oh,
the
really?
difference between the two.
Oh, Lost is
We
awesome.
haven't watched Lost, no.
All right.
You got
Oh,
dedication.
No, I do have a question actually. So we're gonna be playing chess. Did you did you want us to like introduce like hey we're gonna play chess and then just get into it or like I don't know like
Let's
or just play and not tell anyone?
that's a good.
Yeah, let's make an intro of it. Just keep in line with you guys'
so
theme.
I'll introduce you
Class.
guys and we'll get into podcast briefly. We'll save that
Sounds
kind of
good.
for the interview.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we'll just get into like what you guys do and just jump into what you guys are currently doing.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Questions, comments, concerns, feelings?
I think we're good. You lead the interview, or how did you want to do this?
I have a few questions,
Sure.
and if you have some, chime
It's all
in.
casual conversation.
Yeah.
I think just for fun, I might want to
Wait,
run
wait,
through
wait.
my.
Can you like keep the volume down? Cause I won't blow out my ear hole when you play the music.
I'll be nice to your hole. Relax.
Oh god.
I might do my.
Oh, we are recording.
Oh yeah, nothing is sacred.
Oh gosh.
I may want to just for fun of it do my little minute rundown of 52 questions that I did for Sith Lord K. If you guys heard that episode, I did a little speed round. So
Okay.
just for fun, because I got a lot of questions I didn't get to go through that I still want to use.
okay.
So
They're super easy questions.
yeah, real simple stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
be on your toes. So I'll give you guys like a minute. You guys can each like run through. I'll look at each one of you guys and I'll ask you a question.
Probably just alternate. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
go down the line.
Cool. Yeah, we'll do that too at the end.
Okay, then we'll try and get it started. Hello and welcome to No Outside Food Allowed, episode 34. We're here to talk about all the nerdy stuff, new and old. Today that includes some 90s Nickelodeon, our classic movie review of 2001: A Space Odyssey, a soundbite quiz from Felix, and we'll talk about our special guest and the host of podcast Chess Talk. Welcome, fellas and lady.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Adam, and in the spirit of the day, I will be Powder Toast Man.
Oh my god.
Breakfast themed superhero from Ren and Stimpy. Oh yeah, bring the old school. With me today, Sam Lim.
I'll be Invader Zim.
Ooh,
Invaders,
very nice.
yeah,
Good pick.
nice. Chris Felix.
Quail Man.
Nice. From Doug.
Nice. Look at the superheroes.
And then we got Eddie Felix.
Yeah, I'll be Heifer.
Nice. Rock Cody.
I'll go more modern. I'll be Squidward.
There you go.
Fitting.
Very
SpongeBob.
accurate.
And of course, Brittany.
I will be Sam Manson, Everyone's favorite goth girlfriend from Danny Phantom.
Dang.
Okay, nice. Going there.
Very good variety.
Yeah,
Age gap over here. The old guys
exactly.
didn't know what that was.
I was hoping.
We were just talking about that, and I didn't realize who that was.
We had
It's
a
gotta be,
huge conversation over breakfast about Nickelodeon cartoons.
Well, there's definitely a gap between the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah.
Whoever's watching the 90s, that's kind of this side of the table,
Yeah.
I suppose. But anyway, we'll get to that. Let's start with some of this week's movie news.
Hell yeah.
We got a couple of random ones. We talked about Top Gun a few weeks ago. All the cool call signs and whatnot. We're pretty excited. Then it comes out it's being delayed for a whole year.
It's a good thing though. You know what I mean? Can't be too rushed.
Well, what was their like reasoning behind that?
What I heard was "quote unquote" logistical reasons, meaning they want to like upgrade the technology, something to do with how they film it. So and originally the release date was actually next year's summer 2019, and they're just now starting to film. So logistically, that's you'd never get that film done in time.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, so I think this pushback will only be beneficial to the movie.
But they're still making it. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
it's-
canceled.
No. Only
It's not
Guardians
one
of
of
the
those,
Galaxy's on pause.
It's not one of those Flash situation where hey, we're gonna get a Flash movie, and now it's just off the board.
Someday, eventually.
Yeah, right. In our hopes and dreams.
Maybe on DC All Access.
If Shazam does well, I think it'll push the rest forward.
I think it'll do well.
Yeah.
I think it will.
Well, of
High
course,
hopes for it.
Aquaman. I think
Yeah, do you
Aquaman's
think
got pretty
Aquaman
good
will do
reviews.
well?
Yeah, I think it's got pretty good reviews so far, from what I've heard. I'm pretty excited for it.
I'm looking forward to it. That's like a decent reaction so far from early press screenings, so I
Yeah, exactly.
think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I
hopefully.
think they're looking up, and then Shazam looks funny. I think
Yeah,
that's gonna
I
be
have
like
much higher hopes for Shazam. Aquaman, just no interest whatsoever.
no.
Really?
No. No.
Well, I mean, it's Aquaman. It's hard to make that character
I think there's
appealing.
going to be like a steep increase in Shazam, and then their quality is going to go back down.
You think?
That's it. Yeah.
Everyone likes those superhero movies that like you don't really know too much about.
True.
I found
I mean,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly.
Black Panther. Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
The underdogs.
Well,
The underdogs, exactly.
Literally.
actually, that can move us right into Doom Patrol,
Yes.
which I hardly know anything about, but Sam's pretty.
yeah, please
pretty
break that
excited,
down because I'm still not sure what Doom Patrol is.
Yeah.
So basically, Doom Patrol is the DC version of the Fantastic Fours, where it's all the misfit characters coming together to work together to help stop the world from hitting doom. And one of its original members was actually Beast Boy from the Teen Titan M8 series. He was with Doom Patrol until he decided that he's done being a sidekick and want to be his own person, so he joined Teen Titans. But with this one, they're going to mix it up a little bit because they're including Cyborg in it.
Oh.
So I don't know how that's going to work because it's a whole new live action show with Brendan Fraser, the new actor, just going to play Cyborg.
Is this why he's not in Titans?
Brendan Fraser. That's what he's been working on this entire time.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Well,
back
Brendan
Fraser.
Fraser's been actually working on a TV show called Condor.
I heard about this. Yeah. actually.
Condor, the show,
Mhm.
amazing. He's really amazing in it. But this one, I'm pretty excited for to see how he's going to play out his character. With this Doom Patrol, this iteration of it, anyways, it seems pretty cool so far with the casting. But I just don't know how it's all
Yeah.
going to
The
look.
cast look good,
live
but I don't know what
action.
any of the characters are.
Who's Brendan Fraser playing?
Beast Boy.
Oh, we just
I
happened
think he'd come back and do another George of the Jungle, but
Hey, I'm hoping he comes back for another Mummy movie, dude. I love his
Yeah,
Mummy movies.
those
They're
Mummy
so
movies are
cheesy,
good.
so fun.
I watched like 12 minutes of the Tom Cruise one and I just couldn't do
I'm
it.
not gonna find
Oh,
it.
the Tom Cruise one actually gets a little better.
Really?
Yeah, I promise you. It's because it was the Universal monster they're trying to
Yeah.
launch the series.
Uh-huh.
So this Mummy like makes sense in a real world application. If he was to be cursed and then he's trying to learn his curse, so it kind of makes sense in this situation. But
Maybe
Oh my
I'll
God,
get more
Tom Cruise got
chance,
cursed.
yeah. With another Mission Impossible movie.
No, this new one was so good, man.
but him versus Dr. Jekyll was crazy.
was it good? I haven't seen that one actually.
I still haven't seen it. Isn't that like Dead in the Water though? The whole Dark Universe thing.
Yeah, they abandoned it after
Yeah,
that movie.
it got abandoned quick. Like all the names dropped quick. So
Because it got panned in the reviews, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
People are shitting all over
Yeah.
it.
Kind of like how we were gonna get an Obi-Wan movie if Solo did great, but since Solo shit
Wait,
the box office,
Was that the Promise?
yeah
Right.
yeah?
Dude,
After
Everything else is on hiatus.
when Solo was like the projection was if Solo did good, we'd get a standalone
Like Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan
and-
movie.
I thought they were shooting more for like a Boba Fett movie.
Yeah,
or
I
something
think
like
that
was on the
confirmed.
table,
Like
too.
a bounty movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Now
it got
it's-
thrown off the table now just
Yeah.
because Solo shit the bed. So.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard that the Meg actually made more money than Solo domestically.
Overseas, dude,
Dude.
we made a ton of money.
The Meg's making a killing, especially overseas. I'm like, wow, this is so ridiculous.
Our producer Chai sent us this video that was very interesting about how American movies are catering toward the Chinese market now.
Yeah,
Oh, they have
I
to.
heard about
Because,
They have
that,
to.
because that's like such a huge market
and
now.
that's why there's more Transformers coming.
Yes.
It's so sad.
They make so much money overseas.
No, I
It's
kid
crazy.
you not, dude. Like, the
Makes sense,
Chinese
yeah.
love the
I
Transformers.
feel like Warcraft, something like that, was like the crazy #1 movie in China. For,
Yeah, it made
Oh, yeah.
like
I'd actually would love to
350.
see a sequel
Wow.
to that Warcraft movie. 'Cause it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It was fun.
Seriously,
Yeah.
thought,
I love that
oh,
movie.
Oh, it's funny.
You know what would make more money though? Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser as an orc or part of the Alliance?
Both.
Oh, I mean,
As every role.
yeah. Kind of like a, what is it? Nutty Professor role.
Yeah, starring Brendan Fraser, just playing every role.
Brendan
Yes.
Fraser versus Brendan
I miss
Fraser.
him. I miss
That'd
him.
be
Yeah,
awesome.
dude, he had like a whole like tragic story or something like that. Didn't his ex-wife like
Pretty
steal a
sad.
bunch of money from him or
Yep.
something?
Oh, I did not know this.
Yeah.
Why he kinda
That's why he was like out of the spotlight for a long time. He was doing like a really rough divorce, and she took like all his money.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I'm glad to hear he's coming back and doing something.
She
though.
took
Yeah,
that
we-
mummy money?
Money.
She's just the
Yeah,
money.
he had to go and, back to
Yeah.
the apartment life, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the ramen.
Well, I hope he's doing good now. I
Alright.
mean, he deserves a break.
He's back on Doom Patrol.
Yeah, dude.
All right, let's keep rolling with DC. We watched a little bit of the DC Daily with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
They put on about a 2.5-hour show, kind
Wow.
of promoting the DC universe. Their
They're trying
call
just
it?
it was like one big commercial about what's coming out for the DC All
Their pay
Access.
channel. Yeah.
And then how it's going to be basically catered to the fan because you can go back, read every comic that's coming out or read the comics that's already been out in the past. And then you can also go back and watch old school movies and TV shows like Batman the Animated Series, watch the old school Batman movies, Superman movies. Like you can watch like everything on there and read whatever you want on there. And then they're gonna try to produce more original content, but the original content just scares me a little bit because they've rushed. Like you can tell they've rushed into
as far as Titans
Titan.
and
Yeah.
Doom Patrol.
Titan. It looks kind of iffy, man. It still looks iffy. The only thing that convincing me is Hawk and Dove. That's about it.
It's pretty sad though if that's what's selling you on Titans is Hawk and Dove, like
And they barely
characters that
showed any.
who's heard of. I mean, we know them, but like the general audience has probably never heard of those characters.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I enjoy Hawk and Dove from the animated series from Justice League and Justice
Well, you'll be
League
able to get
Unlimited.
that on the channel.
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
animated
All
stuff. So you-
that.
so you can
All
find
that.
out all
Yeah.
about those characters you don't know about.
Definitely,
Which is
definitely.
cool. They have all kinds of back comic books, and
And then they have
all the old
monthly
movies.
giveaways for all the members. And like, if you're one of the first few members that are signing up to the brand new service, what was that?
It's like a whole Batman package. They'll send you like ride in the Batmobile, and it's like
It's what, $10 a month?
It's like $75 a year.
Yeah, 70.
okay.
It's
Not too bad.
$78.99 per year,
Mhm.
but you get 3 months free if you sign up now.
Okay.
So you get the whole year plus the 3 months. So it's not too
So
bad.
if you
of a
break
deal.
it down, it's like
Cheaper than Netflix.
$5 a month or so.
Yeah.
So not too
We,
bad.
we thought about getting one for our account as a group.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I mean,
Family account.
so I mean, like $80 split 6 ways. We're good.
Properly
we're good.
review it. Yeah. That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
It's just for research purposes.
Yeah.
For our group. In case anything happens. Just
I thought it was interesting that they introduced the hosts for their new show, and they have John Burrowman from Arrow.
yeah.
The guy who played Merlin, Malcolm
was-
Merlin.
Malcolm Merlin.
Yeah, and he's
also
hosting
in
the show with these kind of nobodies, and I was like, oh, how'd they get that guy?
Well, there's one that's not nobody, which is Kevin Smith's daughter Harley Quinn. She's hosting it too.
True.
So they got the younger generation, which is her, and they got him for everyone else above. Because there's all the Doctor Who fans, all the
True.
fans from oh my god, his other British show. It was like a sci-fi show spin-off from Doctor Who.
Torchwood.
Thank you, Torchwood. So I mean, it'll be
Bring
good.
in some people.
Yeah, it'll bring in some
They
people.
had Jim Lee in the corner drawing up some Batman stuff. That was
Nice.
cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to, like, when you have something like this going on,
Uh,
you have to have Jim Lee, right?
yeah.
Like it just has to.
It's funny. They had a funny moment with John Burman. He brought out these toys, they're like super old school of like 66 Batman and Superman. They were all like these G.I. Joe sized toys, right? And it was the only time that Jimmy like turned around from his drawing just to see what kind of nerd stuff they brought over. I thought that was funny.
Just to nerd out over them.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, that looks pretty cool. I think we're definitely gonna
Oh, big time.
Keep watching that.
Yeah,
I'm just jealous
keep
for
our eye on that
her
one.
won the drawing. I'm jealous.
Right, Tim Lee's trying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was there a lot of fan interaction? Like they were answering questions and stuff? Or
Yeah,
not
it was
really?
all the fan interaction was based off of Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, it was
and
all run on
YouTube.
live. So.
Yeah.
So it's all like interactive. Like they'll pull the questions or they'll ask questions
Okay.
and let the fans answer for certain social sites or social media sites,
Mhm.
and then they would give out the prizes and stuff. So it was pretty cool to see that, to see the guests win prizes live.
I was surprised how long it was.
Oh, definitely.
It actually got me excited to watch Lois and Clark again. They brought out Terry Hatcher and had like a little interview with her, and I was like, man, that's bringing me back. I love that show.
Oh yeah, the whole storyline, the arc with Lex Luthor, ridiculous.
That was good stuff.
It was so cheesy, but it was so good. Flex.
I'm good.
Come on,
I
Flex.
remember that. It was
You
Dean
didn't try the
Cain. as-
cheesiness?
Yes, it was Dean Cain.
Yeah, no, that was good. Hey, so is that going to be on the DC thing too?
Absolutely.
What about Smallville? Is that going to be on there too?
Everything.
Really?
Most likely.
Everything's gonna be there. Even the old school Flash. Well,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Really?
with the puffy suit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
The Shazam suit.
That's my favorite, bro.
Shazam suit.
Oh gosh.
I remember watching that for the first time as a
same.
kid. I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, the Flash on TV?
Mark Hamill as a trickster. Oh yeah.
Right? So good. Yeah, totally. All right, so move on from that. We're still kind of in DC. We're talking about the Joker movie. This just came out that Alec Baldwin was going to play Thomas Wayne. And then like 2 days later, Eddie, you're chomping at the bit here.
Thomas Wayne, huh?
Yeah, Thomas Wayne. And then like 2 days later, he comes out and says, I have scheduling issues. I'm out. There's probably 25 guys that can play that. Sure. I'm glad you came and waved Alec Baldwin. You're maybe not the person I would have chose anyway. Still waiting for
Well, people want-
Negan to
they want
take that
Negan.
role.
Oh man, that'd be
How
way
much of
better.
a role is Thomas Wayne going to play into the movie? Does anyone know?
I
I'm
can't
like,
imagine
is it-
it's going to be much.
I was like, is it just going to be the one scene where he dies?
Right.
Like, does it
I
matter
hope they
who
don't do
plays
that
him?
again, please. We don't need to see them die again. But like I heard that they had described this version of Thomas Wayne as sort of a young '80s kind of Trump, where he was more business savvy, kind of just a dickhead, kind of like rich
Big
guy.
old D-bag.
They even kind of compared what's his face. Is it Gordon Gekko? Michael Douglas in Wall Street.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Kind of like
I wonder if
described
that's
him
why
as
they
that
went
kind
with
of
Alec
persona.
Baldwin because it was
Yeah.
SNL.
Yeah, but
right?
see, I think when they started comparing him to Trump, that's when like
was
all
like,
of a sudden the news was kind of like,
Don't use his name in
yeah,
the
then he dropped out of it.
You'll
all
be
of a
fine.
sudden,
Yeah.
so.
I'm
So, yeah,
sure
that's what I heard.
Baldwin's tired of playing Trump because he plays it every season of SNL now.
He does so good though. He's so good at it.
He is really good.
He won like a Golden Globe for it or something.
An Emmy.
Yeah.
That's
And then
pretty
what's
good.
her name?
That's awesome.
Playing that other guy. Oh my god.
Use your words.
McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy. Oh,
Melissa McCarthy.
McCarthy?
Yeah, on SNL she plays.
I forgot.
Oh, I thought she was gonna be in the movie.
Yeah, I was like, this is a weird
I'm saying
cast.
she was on SNL and she plays that one press secretary that got fired.
Yeah,
Oh.
I
Right,
forgot
right,
his
right.
name. I know
Yeah, you know
she was
what
on
I'm
a Segway. On a Segway.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
She does it so hilarious though. You're like, damn, she's good.
Interesting.
Yeah, I looked up the casting and the director. Have you guys seen the director for the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie?
Yeah,
Like what he's directed?
Todd Phillips.
Yeah, he's done like The Hangover and Due Date and just a bunch of like
Some randoms.
dumb comedy
Comedies.
movies.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm afraid they're
It's
gonna
also
try to do
it's supposed to be
comedy.
produced by Scorsese though, so hopefully his influence.
I think it'll have a
What
big
is
influence on
this
it.
movie?
Yeah, right.
No idea.
It's,
The Joker.
what happened was that it's
What?
this is a Joker movie that takes place in a different universe.
Yeah.
But the set budget is set for like a indie film. So they have an
Oh, yeah,
indie
that's
film
right, that's
budget for
Heard
this
about
one.
this.
Yeah.
What's the like? Do they know what the storyline is going to be exactly?
How he came to be, how he
Yeah,
became the
just how
Joker.
he came-
So in
Exactly.
Could be
origin,
the Red Hood storyline. That's what I'm hoping for.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. Like, yeah, because they've mentioned that. What's his face? Guy from Glow. Who's
oh, Mark
Mark
Maron.
Maron.
Mark Maron's supposed to be in here also. I think he's
Yeah,
supposed to
he
be
is.
like a TV show host.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's definitely into like the younger Jokers, kind of like maybe origin being trying to be a failed comedian.
I
Whatnot.
wonder if De Niro's
Oh,
still
yeah.
attached. Because last time I saw on IMDb,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
Actually,
De
yeah.
Niro's
De Niro's doing
attached.
Yeah.
Nothing about this movie seems like it's going to be good. It's just so like
Right?
many different pieces just
I feel
cobbled
like
together.
It feels so iffy. It's
Yeah.
like one of those.
It could work out though.
There's-
It's just I think the turnoff from it is just the last appearance of Joker, which was portrayed by what's his name?
Jared Leto.
Yeah, Jared Leto. Just didn't fly over well for the entire fan base. I mean, I think just after Heath Ledger kind of set that bar so high, now everyone's trying to recreate that magic
Yeah.
again. And but when you have so many a diverse list of names being tied to this project, I think it makes you kind of feel a little uneasy, but could work.
What I like what they're doing in DC now, comic book wise, that makes this a little better is they have a storyline now of 3 different Jokers coming from different universes, kind of coming together, and each one being kind of a reincarnation of a different one.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me feel like the DC universe is kind of picking that out, like maybe
And
they're
they're
like kinda
intentionally
separating all
trying to
these
be like
timelines.
trying to be like a little bit different, but
I mean, that's what DC Comics does. Yeah.
They should stop trying to recreate the Marvel thing and just say, okay, we don't need this huge overarching story. Let's just do one-shot movies, maybe like standalone
right.
trilogies.
That's why I like the DC animated movie lines.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The animated movie lines are amazing. The artwork,
That's what the fans want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's what you wanted because like the artwork itself, the storyline, the continuity is amazing. Because 2 or 3 years ago when they redid the new 52 of all the heroes,
Yeah.
right? They actually kept that same arc throughout their movies now, and I'm like, okay, it's a new cast.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Dang, what was I gonna say? No, just was it Todd Phillips? Is that who's directing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like with a comedic background, like as far as movies go, and then kind of coming into something like this, it makes me curious to see like what, influence Scorsese will have on it. I mean, I just hope it's not a 3.5 hour film.
like an epic.
Yeah, just like as he usually does.
I mean, it could turn out good because I mean, there's one comedic movie actor or director, what's his name? Adam something that works with Will Ferrell all the time.
Wait,
Oh, Adam McKay.
Adam McKay.
Yeah.
He directed,
Adam Scott. That's not
Yeah.
right.
he directed The Big Short,
Yeah,
and that was very dramatic. So that
it was
turned
Oscar
out
nominated.
really
It
good.
was
I was
very well
surprised.
received. And like he directed Step Brothers and all these other, like
Other guys.
yeah.
So when I saw Adam McKay do this movie, I was like, okay, that's interesting. I'll watch it. And to see him transition from comedic to something dramatic like The Big Short, I was like, oh wow.
Well, what's his name? David F. Sandberg, who's directing Shazam. His background, he directed Lights Out and the second Annabelle movie, I think.
Yep.
So he has a deep horror background. His start was on YouTube, and it was all horror shorts. So like when I saw his name on this, I was like, whoa, what? But that's what they need.
The guy that took over the DCEU was from the production company that did all those.
Oh,
horror flicks.
yeah.
So I kind of.
I always find it interesting. So I never doubt that they won't do a good job. I just kind of wait and see sort of thing.
Exactly.
I feel like this
Good
Joker
chance.
movie could be like Solo, that if it bombs, like other little side projects
They're
are
gonna
going to
scrap it.
disappear.
I think no matter what, I don't know. I wasn't a really big fan of the Suicide Squad. I think this will probably
Hot take.
hot take. I think it'll probably, me personally, think be better than that. I don't know.
That's
well,
not.
well, the bar's not very
crossed.
high
Yeah.
there.
Exactly. So I think they have
Like
a
the
lot of
Joker
room.
bar is high, but the Suicide
I
Squad
think.
bar.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I'm just going off of that last Joker appearance and how crazy that set was with Jared Leto on.
Yeah, with all the knives. That was a cool scene. I liked it.
No, wasn't he like mailing like used condoms and like dead animals to
Yeah,
people?
dead rats and stuff to
Yeah.
the people on set.
He was in character
He
the
was
whole time.
so in
Will
character.
Smith was pissed.
I get like the Joker's like crazy, but he's not like a douchebag like that.
Right.
Though that's what I don't get.
I don't know. Character
Yeah.
actors.
Maybe you'll hear that question later.
We'll see.
Foreshadowing.
We'll see what Walking Phoenix does.
Oh jeez.
All right, so we totally forgot to introduce your chess section. Do you guys want?
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to just start and just have like
so let's
clacks.
let's just do that right now. Like, so for your podcast, we'll just introduce it a little bit. You guys, it's called Chess Talk.
Yeah.
You guys basically have a topic, and you guys play chess as you bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Basically, and we don't talk about the chess game at all.
We do.
I mean,
towards the end,
we'll say
usually.
like, oh, like,
Like, oh, good move.
or my queen's gone, But at the end, we'll acknowledge, okay, Cody won or Eddie won, and we'll shake hands. But the idea of the whole playing chess behind it was just to kind of keep a time limit on how long the episode would be.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That makes sense. Yeah, we have time limits too. Like,
Yeah, the chess is like a
we
good
tend to talk.
kind of.
But thanks to your editing, it's magical.
Yeah, sometimes.
the magic of editing.
Save us a little bit.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and start right now.
Yeah. Eddie's going first.
Yeah, because
Get it. All right, so describe this
go.
board. This is pretty cool.
oh yeah, Cody. If you want.
I mean, it's a gift from you, Eddie. It's
It's
just
me.
this medieval board. A lot of people assume it's a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it looks like a mix of Game of Thrones and the chess pieces from Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone.
It's just a very. I don't know if you guys want to take a picture for the link down below.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah, it's just big pieces. The board is a lot smaller than normal.
It's very extravagant.
But like it's etched on the side. There's like dragon pieces on the corner. It's just
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
it's
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It definitely was not $20. So
Find
yeah,
this at Target.
this is what you usually play at your house when you guys have the episodes running.
Yeah, so it's super
So,
loud.
so who usually wins?
Cody taught me how to play chess, and he wins a lot more.
Well, I mean, it was within 10 because we used to like
You
take
caught
pictures.
up.
Yeah, we used to take
Yeah.
pictures and like document.
Keep scoreboard.
Yeah, like we can talk more about it.
Yeah, we can talk more about it.
But right now, we just started our game, so we'll see if we finish by the time this episode's done.
For sure.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And you guys are good at multitasking?
Yeah.
I think I am.
I think I'm all right, yeah.
All right, cool.
Anything else on the movie news?
I think that's it for as far as movie news. Did you have any?
The Greg Nicotero joining Spawn. Special
wow.
effects.
The special effects artist from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Joining the Spawn movie.
So I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I know this can make Spawn 10 times bloodier now. It's going to be so gory, so good.
So it looks like everybody from The Walking Dead is looking for other work.
Oh, for sure.
You wonder what's going on there.
Trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
Hey, can I die this season?
You know what? It makes sense, though, because, like, it's so hot down there. And they got to wear all that gear, all that clothing.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're like, can I go somewhere with more AC, please?
It's just straight up humid.
With less mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah, Spawn movie looks awesome.
When is that set for release?
It's got to be next year sometime.
Interesting.
I don't think it's started yet.
What names as far as cast?
We got Jamie Foxx, Jeremy Renner.
Whoa.
Todd McFarlane himself is actually going to direct the movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's being distributed by Blumhouse. So it's a known studio, but they're also known to do more like indie stuff. So they'll take the risk and let him actually direct the movie himself.
Yeah.
So knowing that Greg Nicotero is jumping on is always a good sign because he only does things that are passionate to him.
Right.
Like everything's a passion project. So in order for him to endorse you, that's a pretty big deal, I think.
Absolutely. With
Nice.
Todd McFarlane on board, I'm super excited.
Did you guys see that clip of him online where he approved the design of Venom and he actually did his own sketch of it? Like he got a freeze frame of it, of Venom from the movie, and he actually kind of sketched over it, like how he would design it. It's actually really cool. You should look it up on YouTube.
He's the co-creator of the character.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he's got kind of the same kind of eyeballs
Spawn.
and kind of look
Yeah.
to his tongue and all that. Yeah.
You should go check it out, though. He's like really like into it. He approves of the design, but then he kind of pauses like, well, this is what I would do instead.
Right.
And he kind of shades some of the eyes out. It's
Yeah.
actually, it's a really
So
cool
good.
clip
I like
to
that,
watch.
yeah.
Throw a
He seems
really
like
long
such a cool
tongue on
dude.
it.
Yeah.
Totally down for that one. All right, so let's move on from that. Let's jump into. We are currently watching AFI's top 100 movies.
Nice.
The one we just picked for this was 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Shoot.
One that I don't think anybody here had seen previously.
I'd seen it before.
seen it,
I've seen it before.
I saw it
as well.
for high school.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
There you go. Movie was made in 1968. It's number 15 on the list that I'm using, which is the 10th anniversary top 100 list from AFI. Basically, this is Stanley Kubrick and sci-fi writer Arthur C. Clarke. This is a story about human evolution and how this mysterious monolith shaped our future and the rise of technology. That's the abridged version.
What made you guys want to pick this movie out of the list of 100? Like, what stood out?
I think we're a lot of sci-fi nerds at
We
this
were going
point.
by the fact the ones that people haven't watched yet.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I think that coming off the downer that was Raging Bull, we needed something that we had more investment in. So a sci-fi classic.
Yeah. Kubrick's great too. So
Who wants to jump in on this one? It's got a lot to cover.
it's man. I mean, this is one heck of a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the visual of the film itself
Yeah.
and the way it's shot and the music. So
Yes.
I just want to say that the one thing it has going for sure is the fact that the visualization and the music matches every scene. The way it just builds everything up for you, and you're like, "Damn!" It gets more and more intense.
I mean, Kubrick was such a perfectionist. Every time I've seen this movie, I've only seen it 3 times. And yeah, my first viewing was because of my English class in high school. And yeah, just because there's so much in that movie. I remember each viewing was so different from the last.
It's so much to take in.
Yeah,
the symbolism throughout the whole film.
Well, I mean,
Just a
one time I
lot.
just watched it out of the blue at home. I was like, you know what? Let me watch that movie again. And
Right.
oh man, it's like by the end of it, you're
It's
like,
a journey.
It is a freaking journey. It is an odyssey, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's so much to say about it though. But just going on top of the whole music thing, yeah, just the very opening scene, just the the sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have that like THX kind of opening to it, like very operatic, a lot of old music.
Everyone here like this movie?
I actually really enjoyed this one.
I love this movie.
Compared to like all the stuff that we watched
Yeah.
prior to, I actually really enjoyed this
A
one.
good palate cleanser.
Yeah.
I would say like out of all Kubrick's films, it's not my favorite, but like it's definitely like within the top 5 of his films.
Yeah.
Like maybe number 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because it's so ahead of its time. 68, right?
68.
Yeah.
This is a decade before Star Wars.
And a lot of people say that this movie is what kind of conspiracy theory led people to believe that Stanley Kubrick was called by like NASA or whatever to direct a moon landing.
Sure.
Because he just like overstepped boundaries on how to depict a space.
I had this in my notes. It was actually a year before the moon landing.
Exactly, the actual moon landing. So a lot of people were saying that was because I think his next movie after this was The Shining. Which came out early 70s, I think. Yeah. And there's a lot of like hidden clues in there saying that basically Kubrick just telling the audience that, I did film the moon landing. There's like a scene with like Danny, he's wearing like an Apollo whatever shirt, and like he stands up from the floor and it's like a lift off of like a rocket ship. God. It's crazy, dude. like Kubrick is like ridiculously like such a perfectionist, I heard it's hell to work with him just because redoing takes over and over again. He wants something a certain way.
Wasn't Hitchcock the same way?
Yeah. I mean, all the best directors are the most insane ones.
Perfect.
Take 20.
Yeah, exactly. But like even just the scenes too in the opening scene where after the whole primitive scene.
Dawn of Man.
Yeah, the Dawn of Man. When the astronauts are on the space station and like he's like jogging around the circular room.
Yeah, the rotation.
Yeah, like
that was a crazy scene itself. The way he shot that, I was like, that was really smart. Or also the scene where the space stewardess stands in the middle and it rotates and she waits and then she exits the other way. I'm like, that's pretty smart cinematography. The way they done it back then in order to build a stage
ahead of its time, man.
Yeah, they had to build a whole stage.
Well, I believe Christopher Nolan used it as inspiration for his, Inception. Yeah, the hallway scene. Yeah.
Well, also based on this movie, that's how we got a lot of our video games nowadays. Like a lot of you can feel the vibe of like Mass Effect,
Absolutely.
Destiny, like all the great video games in space were inspired by this movie because a lot of people watch this. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, it was pretty cool. But then
I think technically this movie is good, and I get why people love this movie, but I think it's really boring.
It's very boring.
I know because you had never watched it before, Brittany.
No, I would have loved this so much as like a short film.
The concept of it is very...
There've been like 20 short films.
Yeah, what's the total runtime on this? Like 2 hours?
2.5
Like 2 years? Like
yeah.
2 years.
Like the score, the technical aspects of it were beautiful.
There's that intermission that's left in the final cut too.
Yeah, they could have easily taken out 45 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think Kubrick wanted it to be an experience.
Yeah, but then you lose some of those epic long shots.
I would just kept finding myself like bored and like I get what you're doing with the shot. It's just do you need to have like the scene when he first goes out to repair the satellite and it's just like the air pressure and him breathing and it's just like a 5-minute scene. I was like, please just hurry this up. I don't know. That's just me. Like
art is subjective, and I get that this is art to someone, but art to me is the art of storytelling, and the lack of story was not my thing.
I don't think this movie definitely holds up nowadays because 50 years ago, like I mean, this is
well, it was really polarizing when it came out too. Like, a lot of people like left the theater. They're like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
Exactly. I'm sure like a lot of folks back then enjoyed it in theaters to watch it on the big screen to see all that trippy lights and all those trippy colors.
Yeah, because
there's a lot of new ideas then.
It first premiered as like a road show, so it was like this whole like theater experience.
Oh yeah,
so like that would have been fun, but sitting on my couch watching it, I was like, I could be reading a book right now.
Well, I mean, just the first 25 minutes, the opening movie with the Dawn of Man, you could have cut that down to maybe 10 minutes, and you got the same picture.
One scene like when the ape first picked up the tool and started smashing. I was like, okay, we're gonna move on, and it's gonna jump ahead.
Nope.
Yeah.
And then it kept going. I was like, I do not remember this movie as well as I thought I did.
Right.
You did get that cool shot of them like looking up the monolith and like the sun was rising over it. That was cool.
Yeah, like the cinematography is
didn't need 6 minutes of
it's definitely inspirational for movies like I thought like Blade Runner had the same kind of long opening shots and like the environmental aspect of it where you just had all these
and the synthesizing music
shots.
for it blends in.
Yeah.
And you can definitely see the feel of the spaceships in Star Wars kind of have the same, fly-throughs. I was telling, I think Sam, like everything in space seemed really slow except for the one human that got jettisoned out.
Oh,
And he was just gone.
Yeah, and he was just flying, like...
That seems crazy.
Yeah, it was great. Let's get into a little technology about the movie. He had obviously the AI, HAL 9000. Was supposed to be a perfect machine. He'd never had an error, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom, he has a mistake. And then nobody can trust him. And that's where really I think the movie gets its mystique from it and kind of how we
The classic.
react to technology, or technology reacts to us. When they get smart or smarter than we are, do they immediately turn on us?
Right.
That's kind of what they play on that. Yeah, the fear.
Terminator.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you guys think about HAL 9000?
I mean, he was essentially me.
Yeah, I was like very relatable.
That's definitely the best part of that movie is just when Hal turns and everyone knows the line like, I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave.
Right.
Like, open the pod bay. Whatever.
Open the pod bay doors out.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to stumble over that.
Yeah.
I think Hal is a great character.
What a good villain off of just one picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simplicity of it, and complexity within it.
An ominous red light.
Yeah.
That is like the most notorious villain.
The scene of him singing Daisy and his voice just going more and more demonic, like that's fucking
And
perfect.
so many, and his death scene, like he was clearly dying,
Yeah.
and it kind of made you feel like he actually felt.
Yeah, he was showing
computer.
emotions.
Yeah, he was singing. He said, I feel it. I'm hurting.
Just trying to prove to them, not to turn him off. What was it? I think didn't Futurama make fun of that scene?
I think a lot of
episodes.
It's been referenced a lot.
So much. I just clearly think of Futurama.
I think there's a Doctor Who episode that pays homage.
And even him singing Daisy is like a reference to the first actual computer that actually sang in real life.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's a good little one.
Good little nugget. Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic villain, I think. Just that whole bit on the ship where he does start turning on them. I mean, and when he reads the lips too, like that, because by that point in the movie, he is a character. He is, almost like a living, breathing being, if you will. And just finding these little nuances and faults in human life for his gain. I mean, that's just so cool.
The fact that he killed those 3 people,
killed
so fast.
I'm telling you, man.
Just start shutting down parts. I'm like, you bastard, you dirty bastard.
I love when he kind of switches to pleading for his life when he realizes that he can't really do anything about Dave turning him off, and then he's like, all right, Dave, I know I kind of did some fucked up things. Can we just talk about it?
It's like, I promise, I'm here to help you.
I take it back. I take it back.
No, you can't listen to that computer at that point.
I love this whole movie. I mean, honestly, you could break it down to 4 different acts, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot of parallels throughout every act. A lot of birth, death, and rebirth.
Yep.
I feel like that was a continuous theme throughout. Kind of the way I interpreted what happened with Hal. The reason he turned was because he saw the flaw in mankind, because his orders were not to disclose the information of the trip. The only people that knew about that trip were Hal and then the 3 crew members that were asleep. Right. Dave and Frank didn't know about that. So that's why he became sketchy about humankind. And that's why he ultimately saw evil and corruption in humankind. That's why he was sabotaging the mission. And I see that since the very beginning with the whole touching of the monolith with all the prehistoric guys and all that. As soon as he touches it, it's sort of an acceleration of evolution. They discover weapons, and which ultimately leads to violence and war. They took back their space. And then you jump directly into the scene with the moon. You see that exact same happen again thousands of years later. Man hasn't learned. They touch it again, and they create technology. They create AI, which becomes HAL, becomes another type of weapon, leads to war and stuff like that. So I just felt like that was a continuous evolution, or just how man kind of basically doomed to repeat its same mistakes.
Yeah.
So I kind of love those elements that happen throughout the movie, and then the final act of the movie, that 20-minute acid trip.
Yeah, the psychedelic part.
That was
the Star Child.
Another part of the movie they could have condensed to about 5 or 10 minutes.
But I get it though. It was definitely it was putting yourself in Dave's position where you're taking in all this stuff and you just can't process it.
Correct.
And so eventually he just goes to the process where he's rapidly accelerating his age and whatnot to where he is rebirthed as the Star Child. Right. So that's basically where he becomes he transcends
the next step in evolution. Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of what I saw throughout, and I just love the whole ride. I feel like the entire thing was just such an epic ride, and it's some of the most amazing cinematography I've ever seen in any movie. I still think it holds up. Sure, it's very cheesy, very campy this day and age, but it looks amazing.
What'd you score out of 10?
I would straight up give this a 9.5. I love this. Nice. Honestly, I really enjoy it.
For the time it came out in, there was nothing out there at that time. I think that was that stood up to what this was.
And it stood with me too. I just sat there throughout the entire day, without looking stuff up, and I was just kind of thinking about it the entire day. It really just struck a chord with me, and then all weekend
it does
I was
make you
just
think.
About it. It really did, and I really loved the entire film.
I'm really happy with your excitement, because the past few weeks our excitement was not this high. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy.
This is great.
There's just lots of little pieces that you can just chew on too. I mean, when the opening scene too, when the stewardess the guy sleeping loses his pen, and it's supposed to be imagery that
supposed to be
man can't control their machines, sort of thing, which is later
Yeah, there's a lot that you can interpret in there. You can kind of say some of it can be a little like I don't know, pretentious, because the one interpretation that I heard was like the reason why at the first minute there's like no visual, it's a black screen, is because we as an audience are staring into the monolith. So we ourselves in the audience are kind of like...
I'm pretty sure if Kubrick was to talk about it, he can justify every single minute in this film and why it's needed in there. We're talking about cutting it down, but I'm sure he had a reason for it being so long the way it was. Yeah, but we'll never know that. I mean, it's a great detail like that,
I've also heard interpretations of the opening as like, because it was a roadshow, like being like the overture, waiting for everyone to pile in so they don't miss the movie.
That too,
That makes sense too.
A very simple explanation for it.
That's good.
What's your score?
I like this movie a lot. I probably put it around an 8 or an 8.5. Okay. You can definitely tell there's inspirations to movies nowadays. It reminded me a lot of Interstellar. In that it was kind of a space movie at first, and then it kind of transcended into a time movie. And how he was rebirthed and all that kind of stuff. And I think Interstellar did kind of the same feel.
Sort of, at the end.
Yeah, at the end. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. So I'm going to go 8.5.
Nice.
How about you, Sam?
I was saying 8.5 or 9 because it was just great for me, like just watching it and all the symbolisms and all this different style. So I think I'll land it at a 8.5 too.
I'll give it a 9. I would give it a 10, but I think a 10 for me would be something I can watch like so
at any
much.
Time.
Yeah, anytime. I'm like, I'm in the mood to watch that forever.
So Infinity War?
No. So yeah, I would say a 9. It's such a perfectly well crafted film. I'm sure Kubrick was very proud of it when it came out, especially for its time. And who knows, maybe he did film the space landing, so because of this film.
Just remember, the Earth is flat.
Yep, okay. That's very true.
Totally. Cody?
So everyone's going to hate me, but since I get the technical aspects, I get the point of this movie and the significance it has, but I don't like it that much. So I'm going to have to give it a 5.
Oh, wow.
So...
You saw its flaws at Howard.
Too damn long.
Over on Chess Talk, we kind of readjusted and recalibrated our ratings, so we're not like, every movie's a 10 out of 10.
Sure. Yeah. We have issues with
5 is still good.
What?
5 is
just
still
a quick
good.
question, like if you can just kind of sum it up, what would have given it a higher score?
To
you?
If it's just 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a short film, it could be fucking great. It's just, the scenes were too long, and I feel like it would do more if it kind of gave more of a story feel and not like you have to figure out everything, like think about everything. Because when we were watching it, I'm like, I'm not smart enough for this movie. Like I can't pick apart all the symbolism.
Isn't for everybody, for sure.
Yeah,
and
there's a ton of symbolism. You just got to kind of figure out yourself.
Like it's a great movie. It's just I don't know if I would want to watch it again.
Right.
So
that's fair.
I was overthinking parts that weren't even important. Like, why are they Russian? This is the Cold War. What's happening here? But like, that's not important.
Sure. What would you give it, Brittany?
Because I like the score so much,
Maybe
5.5, 6. Okay. But same thing. Like, I would love a more condensed version of this beautifully visual movie. Absolutely. But I'm a plot person and a character person, and I couldn't find myself attached to any of it. Sure. Except like, this looks really pretty. It sounds beautiful.
Right.
Did you guys see Tao?
Oh, God.
See what?
Tao.
No.
It's a terrible Netflix movie.
Or movie.
Speaking of crazy AI.
I stopped trying to watch Netflix movies when he made me watch Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah,
I watched like half an hour and I was like, nah.
It was bullshit.
Yeah, it was
1 out of 10.
Cloverfield
Wow.
Terrible movie.
It was not good.
It was okay.
The best part was Chris O'Dowd. And he was a terrible
best part
character.
Was the credits.
Awesome. I think we, for the most part, on this side of the table, enjoyed it. You guys' opinions, absolutely. It's a long movie.
Good,
it's definitely, not for everybody.
Art is subjective.
Absolutely. Check it out, you guys. It's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it.
It's definitely a must-see for sure, at least once.
Agreed.
I think if you like sci-fi, you should.
It's like one of those films.
It deserves its recognition.
It deserves its spot on the
Absolutely.
the list.
It's one of those you got to prep yourself to sit down and watch. You can't just sort of casually watch. Like really, just kind of
take a deep breath.
Exactly. Just have a nice day off and just relax and just watch it.
Then be sad by the end of it.
Do you guys know what you're watching next?
We haven't decided yet. No. Maybe we'll talk about that after the podcast.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Some recommendations.
Oh,
perfect.
We'll take them.
Later.
All right. So let's move on. We'll talk about a little bit of Nickelodeon cartoons.
Opposite of the spectrum.
Man. Yeah, we're jumping all around today. All kinds of old 90s, and live action stuff, stuff that we loved as a kid.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of a list. I figured we'd just go over that, talk about our favorites, and then go over some that we would like to add to the list.
Definitely, yeah.
Obviously, there's some that won't be on there.
Nice.
Let's start with some of the animated ones. I think probably this group watched a lot of Saturday morning cartoons. So a lot of good ones. Let's start with the Rugrats.
Classic.
Yeah, solid.
Yep.
Rocko's Modern Life. We'll get into these a little bit. Ren and Stimpy, Hey Arnold, Cat Dog, Angry Beavers.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the
a
list
good
for
lineup.
animated
Those are like
stuff.
all my favorites right there.
Right.
But no Invader Zim.
No Doug.
Dirty ass
Yeah,
list.
kinda
Doug.
came out.
See, that was on my list of
Yeah.
had to add. I'm not sure why they haven't started with Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the first.
Yeah. It was,
Unless Doug is still tied up with Disney.
I think that might
Is
be a
it?
big.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Because,
part of why.
the last half of
Because Disney
Doug's
bought the rights,
season,
yeah.
Disney owns Doug.
That's
Yeah,
stupid.
which is why
Yeah,
they.
it was like brand spanking new Doug or something like that.
Yeah, he's like wearing a
that's
sweater
right, when they,
instead
when
of a
they
shirt.
try to remake some stuff.
They're gonna ruin it.
The only thing good that came from Disney was definitely Recess. Recess was
good.
funny.
Yeah, that was a good.
So was Pepper Ann.
That would have, yeah.
I
So
think-
those shows would have fit right into Nickelodeon as far as that
definitely.
style. Yeah.
Disney had better like live action shows in like the late 90s, early
Definitely.
2000s for
Definitely.
me.
Nickelodeon, I think, just killed it with cartoons.
Yeah, that was a bread and butter.
Yeah.
For me, Ren and Stimpy and Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, those were kind of the three main ones. I probably watched those, all of them, most likely.
Easily.
Some classic animations there. Some of my favorite characters of all time. What'd you guys think? What's your favorites?
For me, classic favorites for Nickelodeon would definitely be Doug. Definitely Ren and Stimpy, the list you got so far. Definitely add Invader Zim for sure. Because it was just
Didn't get
so
enough
dark
hit.
and so weird. It was ahead of its time. The way the cartoon was animated and the way it was drawn, I was like so amazed that it was allowed Nickelodeon because it was just so dark. I was like,
Well, it kind of brought it back to how like Ren and Stimpy was so like
Yeah.
vulgar in its own way, and like even Invader Zim had some grotesque imagery in a way, just kind of stepped it towards that realm. It just had this very like just gross kind of feeling to it. But it was, that's
Well, I
what
know
made it so
people
good.
that their parents would not allow them to watch
no.
Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, yeah.
It was that edgy at the time.
or even
very
Real Monsters.
Yeah, that one
That's
too.
a good one.
Yeah.
That was
that
pretty
was one that
fun.
needs to be on the list as well.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Monsters coming out and scaring people, but they were all like friendly.
Yeah. It was weird because like
It was kind of like Monsters Inc.
It was
Yeah,
it was weird and dark, but yet it was family friendly because at the end of the day they're all trying to help each other out. So I thought it was a weird contrast, but it's definitely up my creek for sure.
Sure.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the weird, creepy, dark cartoons.
They had a few of those definitely on there.
Yeah, even Rocco was like pretty vulgar too. Like there's one point where he was working at like a
He's a
hotline
sex
station. Yeah.
hotline.
That's his job. Yeah. That's
Oh
all.
my god!
And
that's
then
so
there was like
ridiculous.
one episode where I think where Mrs. Big Head was like trying to have an affair with him too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it was pretty bad, man.
What
It
was
was
it? The Chameleon Brothers? Like those are the characters, right? Those are the names.
Yeah,
brothers.
Yeah, like there was one episode where like they were telling a story of like where they came from, and it was like this land called Balzac.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and I remember
So
that
many
just like,
innuendos.
burned in my brain. I was like, what?
I remember there was one
Did you say
episode.
that?
I forget who was in it, but there was somebody in the hospital, and then there was this two male nurses that were coming in, like sort of tormenting him. And one guy's name was Dick, but they like emphasized his name so bad. It's like, what do you think, Dick? Like just every time they would say his name. Like, yeah, it was.
That means something else.
Cartoons were so crazy,
I
dude.
think even I remember my dad pointing that out too. He's like, why can't they just call him like Richard? Like, why gotta call him Dick?
That's hilarious.
That wouldn't be a secret joke. There's
gosh.
definitely plenty of that going in those cartoons. Like Ren and Stimpy, they were known for their like extreme close-ups.
Oh yeah.
They would
And the
get in-
nipples.
Well, yeah, they would show
Nipples.
all the like crazy stuff.
Yeah, but those close up images like where they spent a lot of time drawing it, like
Yeah.
the extra detail.
Yeah, the little
that made it
HD detail at that time.
that made it very hard to watch sometimes too.
You're like, what the hell?
But a lot of
is going
classic
on?
music came from lots of shows like that too. I remember I had the Nickelodeon soundtrack, like just
yeah.
a compilation of all these old, songs from different shows. And all
You're
that.
gonna have to leg up
My-
on the quiz.
My favorite
Oh,
song,
yeah.
my
I hope
favorite
so.
song for Nickelodeon or like for a TV show wise is definitely Pete and Pete.
The live action, yeah.
Yeah, Pete and Pete. It's just the music's so good and the TV show and the storyline's so good. I have the first 4 seasons on DVD.
Well, let's jump into the live action one. That's actually not on there, Pete and Pete.
Oh wow!
What?
I feel like that should have been
I know,
on
right?
there.
That
Like,
has to like be on the top row. Like it's Pete and Pete.
We have of course all that.
Yeah.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Nice.
Clarissa Explains It All.
Yeah.
nice.
What do we got? Keenan and Kel.
Great.
Legends of a Hidden Temple.
Yeah, of course.
Loved that one. That looks like it, but
Really?
yeah,
Really?
those are all-
No
those are all-
Kablam?
No Kablam.
Kablam.
No Salute Your Shorts.
No
Yeah.
Salute Your
What about Hey
Shorts.
Dude?
No Double Dare.
Exactly.
Guts.
Alex
Mack.
Guts.
Yeah.
Alex Mack. Oh,
See, Legends of the Hidden Temple. There's other game show. There's Nick Arcade.
Nick Arcade,
Yeah.
dude. Nick Arcade, where there was all interactive video games.
So is this all that's going to be on this service, or just for now?
They're gonna cycle through.
Okay.
So yeah, this is
interesting.
what they're gonna start with, and then they're gonna like kind of plug and play.
Oh, I guess yeah.
So hopefully they'll have some more of these like.
I'm gonna just put them all in there though.
Yeah,
right.
It's not like it costs them more, really.
Yeah,
Just,
no,
like
there's
storage.
pages
own
of
them.
content right there. Yeah,
Maybe like Doug, they have a problem with
Copyrights.
you know.
yeah, possibly.
Super excited for Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
It's like
I
probably the first thing that
forgot
scared
about
the
That
shit out
was
of me.
so
Yeah.
good as a kid watching Are You Afraid of Dark? Like every week, I'm like, yes, new episode. Let's
There's
do this.
didn't they Nickelodeon used to do this thing too, like towards the end of the 90s, where they would have a movie come out for each show, and like I think Kenan and Kel had their own movie. Are You Afraid of the
Yeah.
Dark had their own movie.
Mhm.
Those are the only ones that come to mind right now.
Even
Good Burger.
Good Burger.
Burger.
Yeah, that one actually made it onto like DVDs and all that. Everyone else was just straight to TV.
Goda was in that movie, dude.
One
Yeah.
one of my favorite Nickelodeon movie is definitely Snow Day. Snow Day
Snow
was
Day.
so good.
Wait, who was in that?
Josh Peck was in it.
Josh Beck.
Yeah,
Really?
And,
that's all I remember.
and Manuel Shrieky.
Okay.
Wow.
She was a cutie.
Yeah,
She was a love interest.
Yep.
And then Michelle Trachtenberg.
Oh yeah, I
Oh, wait.
remember.
And all the
Wasn't she
names.
Harriet the Spy?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that? Yeah, good stuff.
See, they got some good shit.
Reminds me of Amanda Bynes, who actually made her
Show.
debut on All
Oh,
That.
yeah.
She made her debut on all
Yeah.
that.
Before she went crazy.
Also, Nick Cannon and Gabriel Iglesias.
Wow.
Gabriel
Made
Iglesias.
Yeah, made their debuts on all that.
What was he in?
Wait, Fluffy?
Yeah, Fluffy.
Where?
What?
All that.
I didn't know that.
Jeez.
That's weird.
I just
That's
learned
really
something new
weird.
today. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, how
That was
about
interesting.
No one's half the battle.
Dang man, that's crazy.
Going back.
Yeah, that first like group of cast members for all that really like had careers.
Yeah,
Sure.
For a little bit.
Freaking Keenan made it all the way to SNL.
Yeah.
He's still on there now.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's,
still
he's
there.
making the SNL money. He's good.
Yeah.
Well, all that was basically the kids' version of SNL.
Yeah.
Basically.
And I hated SNL at the time. It was
But all that was just somewhere I could turn to.
yeah, and all that was just hit after hit. I think.
Mhm.
Oh, and I think one of my favorite segments on the show was Vital Information for Everyday Life with
Yes.
Lori Beth.
Yeah.
Wasn't there that their like weekend update?
Yeah,
Basically,
basically.
That was
And
so
then
good.
when they did the French kid.
Oh, yeah, in the bathtub.
Yeah,
Oh my
that
God.
shit was
Yeah,
And he
hilarious.
teaches French in like the worst way possible.
Yeah.
They actually brought that character back to SNL,
Did
but
they?
it's a
Really?
different name.
Oh my god.
And he goes Zoulon, and like he just like does all the bad French accent on the sometimes on the news,
Yeah.
Wiki News update,
Mhm.
and you're like, yes,
Like you
Yeah.
stole.
thank you, I appreciate it.
Well, he can't do his Bill Cosby impression anymore, so he had to find
I'm
something.
sure, I'm sure that's off the table.
Yeah, it definitely is. Did you guys have any like favorite like game shows and all that? Or I'm not on all that, but like any
Right.
game
Well, I mean,
shows from
I'm the
Nickelodeon?
youngest here, so I wasn't really.
Oh.
I think like Legends of the Hidden Temple that had stopped airing by the time I was like really
Ooh.
watching
Yeah,
TV.
you can go on YouTube and watch them all though. Like,
Mhm.
I, from time to time, I just watch them.
Yeah, so I mean,
Check it out.
I remember like all that Amanda Show and like Drake and Josh. Those are like the first like live
Yeah.
action Nickelodeon shows I remember watching.
I was kind of getting towards like the was it Dan Harmon era, or like wait, was
Dan
it?
Harmon?
No, sorry, not Dan Harmon.
Dan Schneider.
Schneider.
I
Yeah.
was like, he was
Wrong
not
Dan.
involved.
Yeah.
It's like, can you imagine Dan Harmon and Nickelodeon?
No.
You
Yeah.
guys
get
remember a
fired
show
real
called
fast.
Wienerville
Yeah.
Wienerville.
with Mark
Yeah.
Wiener?
Mark Wiener was the host.
That shit's
vaguely remember that.
hilarious. That shit
This
was
is
crazy
weird
shit.
variety show where they had like these little tiny puppet bodies and they would just have these people just stick their heads in.
What the
So
hell?
yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that, dude. It was like
It was
a
filmed
weird
live in
puppetry with
Florida.
their faces on it.
That sounds
Wienerville.
terrifying.
And then like
Pretty fucked up if you think
he did
about
like a
it.
Yeah.
quiz game
Quite
show,
weird.
and like he does it once a week where you can win a big prize, but you just have to spell Arnold Schwarzenegger's last name correctly.
Nice.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Good luck.
I still can't do it.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't.
I'll pass.
I still think my favorite was like What Would You Do? It was like a
Oh,
variety kind of show
shit,
too.
yeah.
Mark Summers was the host.
Oh, that's right.
I don't even know if there's like a
Like
set
pass
point
out
to the
money
show. It was
for
just like
stupid
random
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, it was just like people coming down doing like hidden talents and just doing like weird stuff. There's always pies involved. Yeah,
Always.
I couldn't even tell you
That's
exactly
in
what that show's
Nickelodeon.
about, but it was
If
fun.
it's not pie, it's that green.
Slime.
That was
Slime.
slime, the gag.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What was that old show?
Figure it out.
Oh, figure it out.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I
with the
forgot about
panel?
That show.
Yeah.
Oh, they used to slime.
So-
Dude. Yeah.
As a family questions, what would you guys watch together from Nickelodeon? What would you
I
guys sit down and
love watching
together?
Figure It Out because I always wish
Figure It
that I
Out
had
was
like interesting enough talent to be on the show,
Yeah, yeah.
but I never found an interesting talent in my.
So, what's your favorite guys show to watch together?
Well, see, there's sort of a generational gap. 'cause
Yeah,
I'm the
we're
oldest
7
of
years
the four.
apart, yeah.
So like I kind of watched like every generation's worth of
Yeah.
Nickelodeon because being the babysitter. Like I'd watch Blue's Clues with him growing up, and then like all those other game shows,
Nick Jr.
Fairly Odd Parents and all that stuff. Me though, like my era, like there was like an old Canadian show called like You Can't Do That on Television.
Yes,
I think that was
yes,
like
I
the
remember
first.
that one.
It was a weird like show. I couldn't even tell you what. I think Alanis Morissette was on that. It's like where they first debuted the sliming and the gagging and all that stuff. But yeah, dude, Nickelodeon, that was a weird time.
For me, it was at the right time where me and Jimbo would watch Doug together, Real Monster, Double Dare, Legend Hidden Temple. We were able to catch all those classic shows at the right time because like Jimmy was born at the right age to watch it with me. So it was kind of cool because like every time we watched Doug, we would guess the title to see what it is.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
I feel like Rugrats was constantly on rotation because
that's true.
babies and he was
That's
younger
true.
too, and I used to love watching.
Rugrats is just great for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Lots of
Like,
classic moments in that.
that's the one channel we would go back to when Rugrats on. Turn it on for Jimmy, and we'll sit there, hang out, just watch Rugrats and play with Legos.
I love how the parents in Rugrats are always clueless.
Dude.
Oh, jeez.
And the babies were always, smarter than everybody else.
For real, dude.
How did she not see the screwdriver in his diaper? She changes his diaper every freaking hour. Like, how did you not see that?
He hit it really well.
Oh, God.
Do you think Stewie learned from Tommy Pickles?
Possibly. Definitely seeking some inspiration.
Jeez.
What was it? Oh, it was Dill.
Dill Pickle.
Dill
that was
Pickle.
his
Okay.
Young brother.
Dewey,
Phil
like,
and Phil and Noah?
It took me so long to realize that his name was
Tom's
after
little
a
brother?
pickle.
Yeah, that was Dill.
Yeah, dude. It took me forever to realize that Dill Pickle was just a pickle. Dill.
Yeah. You're like clever.
Did not. Yeah, I mean, I was a kid.
Yeah, then I think all the males on that side of the family were like Stu, Drew, and Lou. They all had like rhyming names.
Yeah.
That is true.
They were geniuses.
Grandpa's always like, I had to walk 16 miles in snow.
16 miles, yeah. I think Mark Mothersbaugh was the composer of the show, too. He was from Devo, the old 80s group. And he wrote all that music, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, gosh. That is amazing.
Good
Something
facts
else.
today.
I think
Good
he
facts.
actually did the music on Disenchantment also, if I'm right. I might be wrong on that, but I feel like he's doing the music on that show also.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I might be wrong.
Definitely check out Disenchantment. The first 2 episodes has callbacks to Simpsons and Futurama. That's all I'll say. But if you can catch it, you'll laugh your butt
clever.
off.
Yeah, I saw the trailer and it seemed interesting. Like I like that animation style from Futurama, so I was
Yeah.
like, I might check this out.
What's kind of cool about it is it has like a 3D feel to it. Like all the backgrounds are.
Oh yeah, that's
feel
true.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see the animation up front, but everything background is 3D.
Yeah.
So it's a nice
Interesting feel to it.
contrast throughout the whole show.
Yeah.
For sure. Keeps you interactive.
Yeah. It's really cool. The design of the land is beautiful, actually. Whenever it pans out, it's such a gorgeous shot. Like
I think it was so smart the fact that Netflix was able to nab him for their own screening. I'm
everybody's
like,
going to
everything.
Netflix.
Yep. All the graphic movies.
That's what everyone's watching now.
All right, so if you're interested in watching some cool 90s Nick stuff, it's on The Splat, Teen Nick. It's on from 10 to 6 a.m. October 5th is when this whole thing goes down.
10 to 6 a.m.?
Yep.
that's it?
They're running
So-
their whole block. And then I guess if you're on the pay thing, nick.com.
10 p.m. to 6 a.m.?
10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
So like a new Nick
Like
at night?
yeah, basically, right?
Oh, interesting.
It's like, here, just stay up late. Just join us. Just
Ooh,
join us.
man. Sorry, work.
And there goes your sleep.
Yep, there it goes.
Unless you have a DVR. That's a
I
different
don't.
story.
All right, we've gotten to that point, guys. How's the chess game going?
It's going pretty good.
It's kind of a
We
bloodbath.
lost. We lost a lot of pieces.
Yep, I see it's getting
Who
down
still
to it.
has your queen?
None of us.
He just lost his. I lost mine pretty
I got
early.
his pretty early.
Yeah, I saw you lose yours early, but I didn't say anything. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, snap.
So
It's hard to contain the excitement when we're playing sometimes.
what's the
I can
record
tell.
between you guys?
What is the last recorded record?
I'd have to check my Instagram, but I think it's
Shoot.
like 85 to like 73.
Yeah,
to
like we've
4.
played a lot of chess games.
Yeah.
No kidding.
It's closer than I would,
Let
Yeah.
me see if I can look it up real quick.
Like I started with like a 10 game lead or so, and like it fluctuates, but he's usually pretty close behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Cody's the one who taught me, so he had that advantage for
say,
a while. But
When will the student surpass the master?
I mean, that was the whole idea of it. I was like,
The
one
goal.
day I will best you.
Hopefully on the podcast, right? So let's talk about a little bit of the podcast. So you guys do chess talk. You pick a random topic, I take it, and then just play a little chess. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
I mean, it's similar to you guys. Like we kind of stay up to date with like pop culture, like movies, video games, TV shows, music. We talk about music on that show. Like I don't know if you guys
Pretty
have
music
that.
heavy.
Yeah. That's pretty much it because it all started. Eddie and I was teaching him how to play chess, and we would just talk about like what we've been watching, what we've been doing lately.
This was so 2013. So post high school.
Yeah.
I think for both of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had already graduated. Yeah, we met up at a coffee shop and we just catch up, say what's up to each other. And then we were at a coffee shop that had a bunch of games. And chess was one game that he kind of pointed out, and I told him I didn't know how to play. So he very willingly took the time to teach me how to play. And of course, he won the first match.
It was like a 3-hour match.
It was like 2 to 3 hours, dude. It was a long match, and I actually have the date that we played, and it was April 27, 2013. So yeah, 5 years ago.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And have you guys been doing the podcast since then? Like, what started you with that?
We started the podcast in December 2013, like late December, and it's just we were playing pretty much every week, playing chess, and we're kind of talking about like topics, like maybe this would be.
This was at the time Breaking Bad was on its like final leg, so there was like we would meet up every week, and it'd be like a ritual, just like play chess and talk about the latest episode, and like
geek out a little bit
into it. Yeah, pick out all the symbolism and all that. Like, oh my gosh, the yellow meant this and this episode, and we just got to the point where we were talking about so much stuff and just keeping a good steady conversation while we were playing chess, and we just kind of kept joking around like, oh, we should get some microphones in here and
record it and put it out there.
Yeah, and we finally did it later that year in December at your apartment. I think it was the first place we recorded.
I think it was yours.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but then we would bounce back and forth between my apartment and your house.
Yeah.
Like The Hobbit had just come out, so we were going over that.
That's right.
And then I think about episode 30 is when Brittany first joined us.
Yeah.
Was it 30?
Like 34.
Yeah, it was one of those episodes.
All I remember is
34.
we talked about the Warcraft movie.
Yeah. No, we talked about Mists of Pandaria, that World of Warcraft expansion.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
the best joke.
Yeah.
That's when Cody was like, I hate this girl.
So yeah, it's just.
So World of Warcraft brought you in?
Yeah, she came for the World of Warcraft and stayed for the chess.
Yeah.
do you play as well, Brittany? But you guys like cycle through or?
What was the episode where it wasn't you guys playing chess? It was me and Carlos. Mm-hmm. Which one was that?
Episode 100.
Was it episode 100? That was the
100.
one time I've played chess in my life, and I won.
Oh,
yeah.
It was a fluke, though.
Beginner's luck, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like our other regular, because we don't have like a core group like you guys do. It's usually like I'm there, Brittany's there. And then we have like a group of like 5-7 friends that just every week we
always just show up.
Whoever's free.
We rotate between them all. Yeah.
Just like who's watched the movie that we want to talk about, who's listened to the music, just like who wants to like
who would be
who
interesting.
has an opinion on this.
Who's available?
Yeah, basically that too.
That's good though to have a rotation going on.
Yeah, I think it like helps mix it up so it's not.
Oh, definitely. That's how our setup is too. Like,
yeah, we try and we have kind of our set guys, and then we have Chai and Jose will kind of jump in. And
Yeah, and when you have a lot of people in the mix, it's kind of hard to get everyone in the same room, every week. Yeah. I mean, I consider like our first, 20 episodes, like our first few seasons of Mythbusters, where it's just Jamie and Adam.
Yeah,
it's kind of like just it's all right.
Yeah,
and then we started bringing the guests in, it kind of just adds more to it.
Right, and then you left doing the show so full time last November.
Yeah, we would do it weekly, and then once we do 10 episodes, which would be our season cap off, we take a couple weeks off and then come back and then just do another 10 episodes and then take another couple weeks off. Because doing it weekly, it takes
a grind.
time.
Yeah, it's definitely hard.
I would be editing, he would show up, we would go to either's houses and just play chess and just talk about whatever was popular that week. And then every 10th episode we had a gimmick where we would just play something other than chess. And I think our first our season finale was like a tag team chess.
Yeah, we had 2 people on one side playing against 2 other people on one side.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Probably the worst thing we've ever done.
We had a lot of good number 10 episodes. We did like a little Mystery Science Theater one where we just picked like 5 short films and just watched them and commentated over it. We played Werewolf, the card game. We played
we did Clue.
We did
a
trivia games.
D&D episode. I think we did
multiple D&D episodes. They were very long too.
Yeah, that
some
seems
of our
like
longest episodes.
Yeah. And then another thing we do at the end of the year, we have a chess awards.
Oh yeah,
where we go through like our favorite. I don't think I've moved.
No.
I haven't moved. I'm sorry.
You're talking about chess.
This happens a lot too when we're like so deep in a conversation, the board will cease to move, and then we're like, "Oh yeah, it's your turn."
Yeah. But at the end of the year, we do like our own chess awards where we go through our favorite movies, music
for the year,
TV
shows, video games,
meme,
books if we had any books that we read, which were very slim. And then we would also invite our favorite guests of the year, and we would give out physical awards, like little certificates, like hey, like. And they'd be the most ridiculous awards ever too. Like Carlos, I think the first year won best dressed.
Best dressed.
Yeah, even though and the funny part about it is we don't have any video platform, so no one knows what we're dressed like.
Yeah, right.
So just best dressed, it just seemed funny and dumb. And then best guest, and then
But I mean, we just try and do like weekly, like whatever talk, and then we try and have like gimmicks every once in a while just to spice it up. Like this
kind of like how you guys do, like when you guys introduce everyone as like a certain character list.
Pop.
Yeah, we'll do like, oh, what color are you this week, and we'll pick a different color every single week because in chess land, I mean, if you have the white pieces, they go first, and then the brown or gold pieces go second. And we would just start changing colors, like, hey, I'm macaroni and cheese color. What are you? And he's like, I'm polka dot, like whatever.
Yeah.
And every week it'd just be a different color and we kept that going for quite a while.
Never repeating the same
Never
color.
repeating the same color.
Yeah,
Nope.
it's difficult on me having to write one out every
I
week.
would imagine.
Like,
That was way more particular.
Yeah, yours is way harder than our stump.
Yeah.
I'm short on my list.
We try to figure out every week.
Sometimes I need help. Yeah.
How many episodes are we in?
Usually,
34, man. It's not even like
we're running out.
It still seems fresh.
Like today we were lucky because our friend Chris Gagne, he's usually on the line with us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a little more difficult because we got a guy calling in.
Yeah.
But he already has a busy weekend, so he's missing out this week. But usually we have to patch him in, try to get the sound right. Yeah, we miss you, Chris. We miss you, bro. Over there in Canada. But
Ooh, Canada.
usually, we'll patch him in. And then I feel bad for Chris because he has to like fix the wire, get the sound right,
Yeah.
trying to make sure that he can hear what we hear.
I just feel bad that we're always cutting him off because we can't see him. We get so caught up in conversation. We're constantly
We
talking
tried
over him.
sometimes.
doing FaceTiming a couple
Yep.
times, but then what happened was, I guess in his area, he gets like a bad reception. So he has a 5-second delay.
Yeah.
So we're like, dang it.
Yeah, we have a guy that remotes in every once in a while, and we definitely have that issue where it feels like he can't really jump in because no one's like looking and like waiting for him. So when I edit it, there's just like 20-minute stretches where he's not really talking, he's just kind of like laughing along.
We try to subconsciously, like we all try to take turn asking him the question.
Yeah.
Right.
So we all
Include him.
keep it in rotation. You know what I mean? Because there's been episodes where you hear him for the whole episode, maybe 8 or 9 minutes, just
Yeah.
because like the rotation or how I guess we're talking and we do kind of forget about him because he's not there. So we're like, hey, what do you think about it?
Yeah. Those are usually the video game centric episodes. So like,
Sometimes, he'll kind of check out.
Yeah.
What kind of issues do you guys have running the podcast? Because you guys have been going longer than we have.
Scheduling.
Yeah.
Scheduling and picking topics, I think, is the hardest part.
Sometimes, I mean, there's seasons where it's just dry. Like, what do we talk about now?
Sometimes there's slow weeks.
Yeah.
Because for us, we're primarily movie news guys.
Yep.
We're all about the movies.
What's current,
So, some weeks, there's a lot of news. And some week, it's like crickets. And we're like pulling from the bottom of the barrel, digging through, trying to go to all different sites. Because we all have different websites we go to for our movie news, right? Like for me, I go to Sci-Fi. And I'm like trying to pull from the bottom barrel, trying to see what's available this week. Or
We've had episodes like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we try and like if we can't, like I know a couple of weeks ago we're like we can't think of topics, so let's just play a game. And so we just did Star Wars Trivial Pursuit.
Nice.
Yeah.
In case of boring episode, break glass.
Yeah, exactly. And scheduling. It's just as people grow up, they get jobs, they don't have consistent schedules. It's hard to get 4 people in a room to talk for 2 hours, like take 2 hours out of your day. Like,
It really is. That's one of the reasons why I ended up having to leave, just because like I was, working like a job here, a job there, going to school and working on projects on my own, and then it just kind of get to the point where like, oh man, like I'm like rushing to get stuff done and make it to the podcast, because it got to this point too, like especially after we hit like 100 episodes, which was crazy. First off, I was like, oh wow, we didn't think we were gonna do this many, but people kind of listen sometimes, which is nice. But it just became more than just like a hobby. It just kind of became like a thing like we needed to do. Not only just to kind of catch up with each other, but just kind of keep some sort of like ritual going. So when I left, I was like, please don't stop it. I'd like to see it going, and I still listen to episodes every now and again. I was working a really busy job this summer, and like I would go out of my way to listen to some episodes just to be like, oh man, like
hearing Cody's voice.
I feel like I need to hear Cody's voice. It's like
still there.
It feels like I'm hanging out with my friends, like on my long drives to work. So but it's cool, and like you guys still keep like the usual list of guests coming through, and then I'll pop in every now and again, like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Remember me?
Yeah,
I'm here to win today.
you guys had a segment too, like
We tried to keep this segment of like, what's up with Eddie this week? Like,
it's like, well, he's still really busy.
That's kind of like our Eddie.
Yeah, same thing with our Eddie. Because
2 jobs and a kid.
he's been trying to get back on
Yeah.
the show, but since he works 3 to 11, like he missed being on the show. So what he does is he'll listen to the show and then just send us this massive group text of critiquing or argument
Or his views.
Yeah. And we're like, New number, who dis?
Basically, right?
We haven't seen you in forever. I don't
Good
know you.
episode, but
Exactly.
yeah, no. So that was always entertaining. But
That's cool though, dude. I like the fact that it still keeps you guys together.
Oh, of
Like,
course, yeah.
That was the whole point of our podcast too.
Exactly.
Is to keep all the friends together. That's why like our roster might be big, but it can rotate. We can adjust. Plus, we always calculate the fact that life is involved, so nothing is ever going to go to plan per se. Usually, you just got to be able to roll with the changes.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So as far as the business side, do you guys push yourselves to get the name out there? Do you feel like you plateaued? Because we with our user in our subscriber base, we're always trying to
Keep
get
pushing.
more content out there,
Yeah.
and get more subscribers. And
I mean, that's probably the hardest thing about it. Like, I hate going on social media. I hate posting. I hate.
I got these.
It's definitely not something you do on your own time, like even on your own personal accounts.
No, like I stopped using my own personal Twitter because I was like, I don't really have anything to say. Like, I save it all for the podcast,
right.
and then like with the podcast tweeting, I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, listen to my episode, please.
It's so Tuesdays when I have to post on Twitter. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
gotta be clever.
Like, I sit there for like 10 minutes, just like,
trying to
what
think of something.
hashtags can I put in? Like,
Marketing is a huge department.
It
and
is.
like,
It's tough. I think that's
and
the hardest part.
The only thing that we
It's
really
so-
invested in is just microphones, mic
So,
stands.
so encompassing, like
Yeah.
knowing that we're sharing Twitter, we're sharing Instagram, we're sharing Facebook, and now we got to post something clever, got to be witty, got to draw the
you
attention.
gotta be consistent.
I'm
Yeah.
like, man, luckily, like with us, we can all chat together,
Yeah.
and then come up with a game plan. And then what I'll do is I'll try to be witty based on the title of the show, because like we
Yeah.
do this system where we come up with the title, and then everybody gets a vote. Whichever title receives 3 to 4 votes, then wins.
oh yeah,
Unfortunately, this is how it usually goes. Eddie puts out a bad joke. Sam laughs and says, "That's great. I'm going to do that." And then either me or Felix will put out like at least a random try, and then usually it'll just go toward the bad joke.
That's a good way to put it. A random try.
Hey! At least we have an episode named something 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 something.
Oh, something woods, something
Yeah.
monster. Nice for the summary for the
Yeah,
ritual.
we struggle with names. That's another one.
Well, you
animals.
came up with all the names for the episodes, huh?
yeah. Now that Eddie left, I'm kind of like the mastermind behind it all.
basically,
I
yeah.
bounced some stuff off of Brittany, like episode titles. Like before, we used to do this thing where it would just be like a blank talk. That would be the episode title, just like
Based on what the topic was.
the topic or like just the topic essentially. And now I just try and like find either like funny, like out of context, like phrases from the episode, or
You Harmontown it.
essentially like 160. I called it "Liberal in the Sheets, Hitler in the Streets," or because that's just what
Yeah.
someone said. So I was like, sure, like why not? That's kind of funny.
Yeah, and it's like when you read that, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what are you guys talking about this
Yeah.
week?
Yeah.
So
And plus, too, like,
Clickbait.
or, like
exactly.
before, like when I was like, consistently on there too, like the thing we would do just to post on social media was just our match results. So like if I won, I'd take a photo of the chessboard and the results, and then I'd post on it, hey, 45 to 60 now, I'm getting close. And we, check out this episode where we talk about blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
And then he would do the same thing if he won that week. And, but yeah, so now it's just like kind of just post whatever you can, whenever you can.
yeah, I post on Twitter, I post on Reddit, and then I don't have a Facebook. I have an Instagram. I think I posted once on the Chess Talk Instagram, and I was like, I can't do this.
It's honestly Instagram is a lot, because like it's me,
That's kind of our primary
and
one.
Adam.
Yeah.
Like we try to post like Chad will do the sound bites with a
Okay.
picture,
Yeah.
and then I'll do either pictures of like movie of the week we're gonna watch.
A little montage or something.
Yeah, like we'll always. I feel like it's a lot of work to constantly keep posting on Instagram, because also it's weird algorithm.
Yep.
So sometimes it'll catch what you're doing, or sometimes the audience won't, and you have to go back and try to find it.
Right.
So we gotta just constantly keep posting. So Tuesday, okay, new episode, we post. Wednesday, we post either the movie we're gonna watch, or we ask the audience how the episode was. It's like it's always that interaction to keep drawing them in.
Yeah.
The one thing we did notice is there was just one week we talked about one of the Rock's movie, and we tagged him, and like it just blew up.
It was so random. We had like
really?
1,000
random.
likes.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Sometimes you'll hit
just
that.
because it was a picture of the Rock.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I know when I was still using my my personal Instagram, like I would check and be like, "Oh, Nofa show, like that's a funny post," and I check on the profile and be like, "Oh my God, there was 5 more posts that I didn't even see."
Yeah.
Like it's just because of that. I'm like, I can't
Can't keep up.
No, and I can't do that with my own.
It feels like Mount
yourself, yeah.
Everest. It just feels like Mount Everest. Every time you click on, you're like,
Yeah. That's
okay,
why, like,
gotta make the climb.
I try to post, but ultimately I know like word of mouth is the most important thing. Like everything I've read about like getting your podcast out there, it's like you need just your audience to like do the grunt work for you.
Right.
Like you have to make a product that's good enough that people want to talk about it to
share.
other people.
That's one of the things that we have troubles with is trying to get people to share.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, please share, please subscribe. That's
rate
how
on
we
iTunes.
That's how
That's
we keep
super
going.
important.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever like check your numbers and where your listeners are at, like where they're from?
Yeah, I do actually, and I've made jokes about it. Like we had this like couple months spree where Japan out of nowhere was just downloading us like crazy.
Nice.
We've got some weird countries too. We're like, what? We have listeners? Because apparently, like in other countries, they'll listen to like say episode 5 or 6, and they'll go back and listen to the rest, and then catch back up.
Crazy.
That's what was happening in Japan. Like I think there was
I would
one
not
on-
do that for our pod. I listened to the first. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, our first one too.
Yeah, like I check in like the first episode is usually the most downloaded, and I'm like, don't listen to that.
Yeah, that's like the
Wow,
worst.
that's so us. We're like I remember
Our first
I would tell my
episode's
friends about the podcast. I'm like, hey, listen to episode 2 and up.
Yeah.
What about the first one? Don't worry about it. Don't worry
My
about that.
adolescent
Like the
years.
sound, it's just a little weird.
I'm usually
It's very
like,
weird.
please just like listen to like the last like 40, 30 episodes. Like listen to those. Like I finally figured
We
it
get better
out.
as we go.
Yeah, for real.
There is no like continuity. You don't need to like start from the first because I worry people listen to the first and I'm like, oh, this is like 2 guys in a microphone. Like I don't want to. Yeah.
So how often do you guys get complaints from actual chess fans for never talking about chess?
We get like no response
Ban
to
and
anything. It's like
It's
an
tough.
echo chamber. But like we get downloads and like I see people like across the country are like listening. I'm like, well, just tell
must
me. Yeah.
Enjoy it, I guess, right?
I don't know, but yeah, we do get a lot of like if you check on our iTunes, it's like people that subscribe to Chess Talk also subscribe to, and it's just all chess podcasts, like people playing chess.
It
It was
Talking about
probably
chess
like
tips.
mistakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just, like,
Like it's
People just look up chess and then just click everything.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
just the act of what we're doing and not really what we're talking about. So yeah.
So you guys don't ever like discuss strategy
this
or
game-
Never
kinda close
have
there.
we ever talked about how to win a game of chess.
Yeah.
I think
Ever.
Tyler's the most, like the person who's talked
Proficient.
about chess the most.
Like the
He has no
enthusiast.
idea how to play chess, but he gets so like excited about it. And
Yeah, because like I mean, think about it. Like, would you listen to 2 monotone men talking about moving chess pieces across the board for an hour and a half? Like, no.
The most we do is like if the game ends, we'll
Yeah.
be like, okay, so like I did this, and then Andy got my queen,
Yeah,
and
we'll
then it was
talk
pretty
about
much over.
highlights.
Yeah, that's pretty
Play the real.
Right.
That's the most chess we ever talk about.
Do you
on
ever,
Chess Talk.
for you guys podcasts, do you ever like go out on location anywhere else or shoot and spot?
No.
we
No.
tried that once when we recorded at my house, my parents'
yeah,
house,
we've-
and that was a disaster.
I mean, like, you know, we started out, like, I recorded with a Tascam. I had a Tascam DR05, and that's how we kind of, and I had a shotgun mic. We didn't have a proper microphone.
Nope.
And, oh, boy, man, those were
The shotgun mic.
old
Catch
old
everything.
days of chess talk. And then now you guys have a really comfortable system. When I was, you know, editing weekly, I would just record right into GarageBand and then export it into Audacity. No, not Audacity. I'm sorry. Audible. No, not Audible. Damn, what's it called? it's Adobe's like audio software. No.
I have no idea
I don't use it as
Audition?
much anymore. Audition. That's the one.
because I just use Audacity now.
Yeah,
so.
now you use Audacity. I was using Audition to you know level out everything. But yeah, that was basically it. though.
Yeah, no, we don't go
we got a
on
mixing board. and-
location. Just I think it'd be too much of a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like with sound and
Yeah.
getting everyone there.
I keep telling we're trying to like branch out and try and get on location, but as far as recording sound goes, you can't really predict what's going on in the background.
Right.
It's better to
So,
have a control.
Our first practice was Evo to try out the sound and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, even then it was kind of loud.
Yeah, I would only do that if I was like, okay, I'm going to do like a 20-minute episode. So even if the sound quality isn't great, like it's just a small little like, hey, we're on location. Like
Right.
thanks to
Yeah.
the people that brought us here, or like let us record here. That's the extent of what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the secret.
Yeah, sound is tough. You gotta keep everything controlled.
Oh, yeah.
And even sometimes the fans, you hear those. So
Yeah, like we have to
Or-
shut off the air.
Or the
Gets
ding,
really
when people ding the.
sure, random noises.
Yeah.
There it is.
Thanks, guys. All right. Anybody else have any questions for Chess Talk? Felix, you got any?
I have a list of questions that we're about to burn through.
Aha.
So yeah.
So everyone gets a turn So go down.
Let's just go down the line. So,
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
This will be fun. We'll do this kind of quick. Somebody sent me.
Are there right answers?
There's never a wrong answer.
They're
How about
only
that?
wrong.
No,
Only wrong answers.
there are no wrong answers. We don't judge. We just want you to pick the right answer. Anyways, Adam, you want to send me a timer?
A timer?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do this real quick. Like,
How long?
screw it. Let's go 2 minutes. I'll give you guys 2 minutes. And
I got you.
You got it?
so let's pick an order real quick. So I'm gonna start with you, Brittany, since you're closest to me.
Okay. I don't even know what to expect. Okay.
No, these are like super random questions. I put together 52 questions when we had Sith Lord K on the show, and we kind of ran through about 30 of them with her. So I'm just gonna run them down with you guys.
You let me know when to start, Chris.
Oh, sure. Okay, so we'll start with you, Brittany. Then we'll go to Cody. We'll go to Eddie, and we'll go round robin. Okay. So let's start with you, Brittany. So here we go. Ready? Go. Cartoon character you can most relate to.
Fuck. Patrick Star.
That's amazing.
Cody, pick a franchise: Transformers or Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Good
Eddie,
answer.
Jared Leto, genius method actor, or giant douchebag.
Giant douchebag.
There we go. Brittany,
that one.
favorite Michael Bay movie.
Fuck. Transformers, sure.
First one, I hope.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's the only one that exists.
Cody, In and Out or Five Guys.
In and Out.
All right.
Nice.
Eddie, Coke or Pepsi.
Coke.
All right. Brittany, Avengers or Justice League.
Avengers.
All right. Cody, what superpowers would you want?
Probably Flight.
All right. Eddie, favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Ooh.
I'm very judgmental.
Michelangelo.
Nice. High five.
All right. Brittany, favorite Disney Pixar movie.
Incredibles. The first one.
Very cool. Cody, no deodorant for a year or no hair product for a year.
No hair product. It's stanky.
Dreads, bro.
Hey, last book you read.
Does Audible count?
Sure.
Sebastian Maniscalco's Stay Hungry.
All right.
Yeah.
No idea what that is, but awesome. All right, Brittany, last concert you went to.
Sounded good.
Last concert I went to. What's the last concert we went to?
We tried to say I set my friends on fire, and that was a bust.
What?
So we didn't see it.
We went there.
What was the last concert we actually saw?
Pass.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while.
All right, no problem. Cody, favorite anime.
Probably Attack on Titan.
Nice. Eddie, dogs or cats?
Ooh. Love them both. Dogs.
All right. Brittany, favorite musical artist.
Fuck.
Never heard of them.
Old Coldplay.
Huh?
Old Coldplay.
Old Coldplay.
Old play.
Old play.
Awesome. Cody, if you can only have one Star Wars movie, is it The Phantom Menace or The Last Jedi?
Phantom Menace.
All right.
Misa like that answer.
Edward, favorite movie starring The Rock.
Oh man, that's a good one. Wow, why did that one come to mind first? I almost said the Tooth Fairy, but it's not.
Final
Minutes.
Dang, I don't know actually. I'm just gonna say Jumanji because that's the only one I like right now.
I'll take it. Are we out of time?
That's pretty good.
Yes.
All right.
Time is out.
Nice.
enough. There
Well
we
done,
go.
guys.
That was stressful.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Put you guys on the spot.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
It's not Jumanji. I don't know. I can't think of any rock movies right
What's
now.
the one?
Transformers
About
was the
Rampage,
only
bro?
Michael Bay movie I could
He's
think
in
of.
every movie right now.
The
Rock.
I can't think of the
Skyscraper
one.
Rampage.
Not the
Not the
Tall
actor of
Walk,
the movie.
Big Walk.
Walking Tall.
Walking Tall.
See the Big
I like
Walk.
that rock movie.
Big Walk.
Big Walk. I mean, it's accurate for The Rock.
All right, I'm gonna forfeit. By the way.
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't see myself getting out of this.
Hey, good game.
Is the game
Game.
over?
Yeah.
Game's
Yeah.
over.
Game over, man.
I know where I messed up too. I lost my rook.
Yep.
I think rook is probably one of my favorite pieces because I feel like, well, I mean, aside from my queen, which is the obvious
Obviously.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, rooks are my prime.
Yeah, I was confused by that. I was like, I don't know why you left that open, but
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird playing at an angle too. I'm not going to say that's my downfall, but it is kind of
is.
weird playing at an
it
angle.
is. You forget like things can move diagonally, and you
Exactly.
just yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
There's chess talk.
That's just like in a nutshell.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well played, guys. I think we have one more thing.
Quick little audio quiz. So since
a
we're
little
talking
quiz.
Nickelodeon, I just gathered about 14 random Nicktoons, but probably mostly from our generation. Got a couple of those later ones I don't really know much about. I'm just going to play some of the music. First person to call in with their name, just give me the answer.
First name,
That's all
right?
it is.
First name.
First
right?
name.
how loud is it?
Should be all right. All right. If you want, we'll just do a little test real quick just to be sure I don't hurt Sam's ear holes.
Yeah, right.
Please.
It's okay. I'm going to test with Hey Dude. This isn't on it. I just had it.
Hey Jude.
Hey Dude.
Oh,
How's that?
Pretty good. Yeah.
All right. Are we all good there?
yeah, that sounds good.
Hey Dude. Yeah, that's old school for you guys. All right, so let's start with the first one. Easy one. If it loads. No commercials on Have YouTube Red.
Sam.
Eddie.
Jesus. I have no idea who that was.
I can't even talk too fast.
Wow.
I want to say that was Adam, maybe.
This will have to be in the editing.
I'm a Rochambeau you for this.
Rochambeau? 1, 2, 3, go.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, go.
Ooh. And he comes back with, they both have paper. Oh, Adam wins the rock.
Oh, Adam wins the Rochambeau for Rugrats.
Yes, it was Rugrats.
You just win the point.
Yeah, right.
All right. Moving on. I'm just going to keep adjusting my volume every time so I don't kill anybody.
Sounds great.
Here we go.
Eddie. It's Rocket Power, right?
Yeah, it's Rocket Power.
Damn it.
Damn, I haven't heard that in a long time.
Doesn't it just take you back?
I don't think I ever watched that one.
Yeah,
The old
That was good.
high octane energy show.
Wiggity.
California, bro.
Yeah.
Animated Extreme. All righty. Here we go. Next one.
This is me.
Cody?
Sam.
Cody.
That's Wild Thornberries, right?
It is the Wild
Actually,
Thornberries.
she just said it right there.
Yeah, right.
Liza Thornberry just ruined it.
Who had it?
That was
Yeah.
Cody.
Cody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're keeping score, Adam? Good
Yes,
job.
I am.
I'm on the board.
On the
There, on the board for the first one. All righty. So,
Sam. Real monsters.
These real monsters. Look at
Wow,
that. Clock.
yeah.
Good job.
Well done.
From
Sir.
a clock, man.
Good job.
Obviously, one of his faves.
Right? That was one of my favorites, too. I love that show.
I had no idea what that was.
We're not off the clock chime.
No.
All right, here we go. Hello, damn you.
Eddie. This is
I know it.
Sam.
Brittany.
Brittany. Sorry.
I said it.
Yeah, Brittany.
Cat dog, right?
It is cat dog.
Yeah, I almost said something else, and I was like, no, it's not it.
All righty. So my
Everybody's on the point. 1 point, by the way.
favorite-
Great.
right on.
Yeah.
I'm on the board.
Here we go.
Eddie. Ren and Stimpy.
Here's Ren and Stimpy. Sorry.
Know that bass line from
It
anywhere.
wasn't music to me.
True. My bad.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, sorry. These are all unbalanced.
Yeah.
Anyways, damn YouTube. Here we go.
I'm like scared.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I got to start at the halfway point.
Oh, Cody. Invader Zim.
Is Invader Zim?
Dang.
Nice. That was quick.
I didn't even know that one, honestly.
Sam.
Sam.
Angry Beavers.
It is the Angry Beavers.
Side note, Jimmy ran into the person who created Angry Beavers at UNLV when he was going to school. So he got all like the extra props.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Amazing.
Side note, I dealt blackjack to Keenan before.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
totally
Nice.
That's funny.
random.
Here we go.
Is he good?
He was nice.
Sam. Rocco's Modern Life.
Yep.
Damn it, nice.
Give me
Just
just
these random noises.
I know. It's like,
Nickelodeon.
all right, let's go here.
Sam. Doug.
Damn it.
Just racking in these points.
That was.
I was
Yeah, me
it was
too.
coming.
That bug.
I
I'm just
forgot,
not fast enough.
I've forgotten my own name
Get a
trying to buzz in
shorter name.
before.
Just get a shorter name.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Oh,
Kelly Odd Parents.
Really odd parents.
as soon as the first word, it's like, okay.
know, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta give me one word. I can't get there fast enough.
Next one, if it loads.
Brittany.
Brittany.
Danny Phantom.
Oh,
Danny
dang.
Phantom.
It's that baseline.
Yeah.
All right. What's the score so far? Well, I load this
All
one.
right, so we got Sam at 4, Eddie 3, Cody and Brittany at 2, me at 1.
Okay.
Anyone's game.
Coming for the belt.
So here we go.
Sam.
Eddie.
Sam.
Sam.
Hey Arnold.
It is Hey Arnold.
God damn it.
Sam's on this one.
Feel like I might have hit them all, actually. Think so. Oh, actually, I got one more.
Ooh.
Here we go.
One more.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Sam wins.
I know.
Probably. This one might be a little obscure, maybe.
Eddie. Is this Kablam?
Yes, Kablam.
Oh my god.
I've heard that forever.
Nice.
Good call, bro.
Oh, that was close. Sam with 5, Eddie with 4.
Oh,
I had that Hey Arnold one, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my victory way.
I'll give you guys one more just for shits and giggles, just because it's kind of funny. This is live action, so there's your hint right there.
Sam. Silly shorts.
It is Silly Shorts.
Wow, with the exclamation point, Sam.
Good job. All right, that's it. Sorry if I hurt anybody's ear holes, but there we go.
Jeez, that was intense.
Fantastic.
Nice. Well played.
Well played.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was like ready. I was ready with a shot like boom.
You were on top of that one, Sam.
That was good. That was really good.
That was
So
good.
Yeah.
I hope the audience knew some of those. I'm sure they did.
Maybe not.
I don't know if they heard enough.
Yeah, true.
If you didn't, you're not a '90s kid.
You don't know this bell chime?
You don't know what's wrong with
you. Well done, Sam.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I think that's all we have for today. Let me thank our special guest again, Chess Talk. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you guys. We'll definitely have you on again.
Please, yeah. Definitely down.
Everybody listening, please go check out Chess Talk. You guys,
where can we find you guys?
Where can we find you?
We had a website, but now we're just on Podbean, chesstalk.podbean.com. If you search for a Chess Talk podcast on iTunes or Stitcher,
subscribe.
Wherever, like, you'll find us. And then our Twitter, chess_talk. You'll find some tweets.
Yeah.
I try and tweet at least like 2 or 3 times a week. That's like the most I can do.
Yeah. I don't do anything.
If I see a cute dog picture, it's up there.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll play.
Maybe we'll have you guys on one of the episodes soon.
Sounds good, man.
For sure.
Open invitation.
Yeah.
I cook for our guests.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I contribute.
Free food's always good. Check us out always nofashow.com, as well as our guests here on iTunes, Podbean, all the podcast apps.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to Brianna Gagne for starting her new podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely check it out. It's called You Are Here. Listen to the first 2 episodes. Very good, very funny. It's a one-person show, and she's doing a great job. So you guys get a chance, check out her way. Write a review, like and follow and share. We're just a small podcast community trying to help each other out.
Right. All the same stuff you're doing for us, right? So
ride together.
All right.
So listen to Mrs. Gagne. She knows what she's talking about.
We're all ride or die, son. Ride or die.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.